Hi.
Hello. Mm,
How is everyone? I hope that everyone is staying safe. We are here hanging out, doing a little Saturday night live. Tonight we're speaking circle castings, dark forces, dark deities, mythologies, and things and such of that manner. Hello, hello, hi.
Hi, Steven.
Welcome. I can't see chat for some reason.
I've got it up on YouTube.
There we go. It popped up for me. Hi, Steven.
Yes. Are you having a fun time? You need attention. Mm.
I like that. How long hair, skinny eye toe? Yes, that the incense burner. How
Yeah.
long hair, skinny eye toe? I found this one recently. I found this one recently, and it hangs. A
Oh.
little thing. So if I was, it's very churchy. It is so churchy. It's not even funny. So I
Yep.
could grab it through here, right, and I can swing it.
Gorgeous.
So I was like, that is so like Catholic church, right? Like,
Yes,
I
that
love
is
it,
very Catholic Church.
but I love it. Like I was like, oh my god,
Versus this, when I found it, was like, ooh, wait, witchy. This
I like
gives
that.
me all the witchy vibes.
I have little ones. The funny thing is, like, you can find them at the witchy shops, but I've been lucky enough to find some at
Thrift stores.
the thrift stores. Yes.
Yeah. I found that one at Goodwill when I still worked there.
Do you miss it? Would you go back?
Never.
Ah,
Ever. Never in a million years.
hi, Lady Blindfoot Wolf. Hi, Stephanie. Hi,
Hello.
Jeanette. Sorry, guys. I'm like tongue tied or something today. Like,
Yeah, baby boy. Are you gonna lay behind me now?
I tried to buy sage and charcoal at Etsy, $30, but Walmart it was 25.
I'm just
I
gonna
seen sage
enjoy
for the
these.
first time. I've seen sage for the first time at Walmart. In the incense section, now they have these cute sage bundles with like
Mhm.
floral attached to it and stuff. I was like, that's
Yep.
pretty cool and actually pretty decent.
Mhm.
Walmart is thinking about their witches, honey.
Walmart is realizing that new age, witchy,
Well, I get
whatever.
from Walmart. I spend $5, and I think it's the best deal I get. I buy a
Walmart is realizing that we're part of the market and there's nothing they can do about it.
I get 100 tea lights for $4. Sometimes on a good day they'll throw a special and put them for $3. So I've even got them for $3 a pack of 100 tea lights from Walmart. And
Uh-huh.
for me, they burn the best out of all the cheap tea lights that I've purchased before. They burn the best. So I usually buy 100 tea lights for the regular price is like four something, almost $5. But when they have them up for sale, you can get them for $3. So when I get them for $3, I stock up and buy 2 or 3 packs. But even though at regular price, they're still worth it for 100 tea lights for me. And I go through tea lights a lot just because I have a lot of altars. And wherever I have a deity, I like to have their candle holder. And whenever, if I'm not petitioning that deity or working with that deity in the moment, I still offer them the tea light.
Mhm.
And then other deities get bigger candles if it's like a novena that I'm working with that deity, or if it's a particular spell work that I'm working with a certain deity, then I'll give them either their full jar candle or a candle I've made and prepared for them.
Yep. I was looking for my lighter, and then I realized I have matches. I just need to pull them out.
I actually like using matches. I don't know why it's weird, but I kind of like the smell of them when they're burning.
There are several reasons to enjoy matches, including the smell, the actual act of lighting them, and the fact that it is a natural form of fire, or if that it is something that you value in your practice. Because I personally enjoy the convenience and reusable portion of lighters.
Long time no speak. Hi, Jeanette. How are you? I hope you're doing good. I've been working a lot still. My job is considered essential, so I am working through the coronavirus crisis. Today, I got good news. I actually saw my boss today, my district manager, and I am officially a store manager for Dollar Tree as of today. So I'm very, very happy about it. Finally, my hard work is paying off. And yeah, now I got to work even harder.
Yep.
Thank you, Jeanette. Thank you.
I'm over here trying to light this stupid candle.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Hi, you. Yes.
Thank you, Steven. Thank you, Lady Blind Wolf. I know it's like unbelievable. Like when I met you guys and I met Mama Squirrel, like over a year ago. Like it's been past a year already. And it's like I remember when I didn't have a job and I had met you guys and I went on my interview when I first got the job and like
Are you trying to get hurt, your dog? Please don't stick
crazy
your nose in fire.
It really is crazy how time flies. Like we've known each other for a while already. Like
oh no, it's hilarious to me that the first time I went live ever to do a YouTube live was Yule Fest for Yule the year before last. And that was pretty much the first time I actually started meeting people from this group. That was before I was an admin.
Hi, Danny. We're doing pretty good. We're reminiscing on how when we first met each other and everything, and Mama Squirrel, we became part of her admin group and everything. And even Steven, Sound of an Ocean Wave, he's been part of our life this whole journey. And it's like I was telling Leland, I just got a good job promotion at my current job. And I remember when, even before I started working there, that I had first gone to my interview and everything. And, you know, like looking back, it's like we've been here for each other, like all of us, and Mama Squirrel and Steven and Leah Lynn and Angela and Denise and Cass and all of us. Like we've all been there for each other.
Yep.
Did I miss anyone on the admin? No.
I don't think so.
Denise, Angela, Steven, you, me, Mama Squirrel, Cass. Am I missing somebody?
Shauna, Pat.
Oh, Shauna and Pat. Oh my God, I blanked out. Shauna, Pat, and then previous
admins who we're not gonna, talk about.
Yeah. Still part of the story, still part of the memories.
Yes, but we don't need to actually bring them up.
So much has happened, hoping to reconnect with everyone. Right, Jeanette? I know it's crazy the things that has happened this past year, right? I feel like the end of 2020, from Samhain on, at least for me, it was like going downhill. Like Samhain was the introduction. Like I was good at Samhain, and after Samhain, it went sour. After Samhain, it went sour.
See, for me, Samhain was the day that it started going.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, like it shifted. It hit Samhain, and after Samhain, it went.
Mhm.
And it's been like that, and we're already like a quarter into the year, the new year, and it's like this is just craziness. But
Okay.
I'm hoping we're going to have better days and we're going to be okay. This thing looks like it might be slowing down. Hopefully it slows down quicker than what it's taking for it to slow down.
Stay your ass at home. I don't care. I don't care how tired you are of being in your house. I don't care. Stay the fuck home. Go to the grocery store or the doctor if you must. You need it. That's it. No extra excursions. And so we can lessen the spread of this thing so we can all have our lives back.
Yes. I need my normal life back.
I need my life back, and my life is out there.
You know how the thrifting that I have to do.
I'm a savage.
You know how long I've been locked up without being able to visit one thrift store.
See, I just need to be able to go to New York for people okay? My con was
that I'm missing on.
Honey, my con was at the end of next month, and now it's postponed. Okay, like I have conventions to do, cosplays to dress in, and friends to hang out with, New York to go to. Excuse me, I need my life back.
We have things to do. Okay, we have planned for 2020. 2020, you don't get to turn against us. Hi, Denise. I'm longing for goodwill, Miriam. You see, me too. I'm itching to go thrifting.
This is my company right now. He is adorable and sweet, but he is mischief incarnate.
Aww.
And he's currently trying to capture my hair tie. Yeah. So, shall we get to the actual topic of tonight's live?
Circle casting, dark forces, dark mythology, dark gods and goddesses.
Continuing our
go on and on. We can speak about a demon or a daemon or a spiritual ally or servitor. Some people call it. I've heard it being called a puka, but that's a whole other being in mythology. Circle casting. So, okay. There's so many different ways of circle casting. The most simplest way is drawing a circle of salt around yourself in your working area, wide enough for you to be able to do ritual in, and for you to be comfortable enough to walk around.
Now there is one way that involves. Oh, there is a way that involves absolutely no physical implements at all, but it tends to take a bit more practice and imagination than casting a ring of salt. The reason we tend to recommend, and people tend to recommend you start with a ring of salt or a ring of crystals or a ring of the physical ring, is because it is easier to cast that circle if you have a physical, visible representation. It is not that you necessarily need the physical tools to cast it.
Exactly. Actually, I remember in the beginning, I don't remember which author I got it from because I was reading from so many authors and stuff. one of the most simplest ways of visualizing that circle is a light coming out of your finger, and you
Mhm.
use that finger to direct the energy, and you draw your soul circle around you, right? You spin around in a circle, and you envision that light encircling you around you first. Then you go below and above, and it creates like this egg-like sphere, right? And where it's that energy protecting you from all angles,
Mhm.
all dimensions,
That's a misconception that
within,
people
without,
will get it
and
because they
all
get the
around.
idea of the physical ring of salt. You are not just casting that physical ring. It's not a ring, it is a circle, an orb around you. What you are visualizing is not a tube of energy around you, it is a orb with you in the center.
Yes,
It should go through the floor or ground beneath you, with your
and
feet
ground
above
above.
your head, around you, and
Well,
everything you're
below.
going to use in your spell or ritual.
Literally creating a bubble of energy around you, an energy field
Hmm.
in which you're in a sphere, and you have this magic build up all around you in order to protect the working and the magical working you're doing, or the meditation you're doing, or the type of working that you're doing, whether it's spell work, meditation work, any type of work you do as a witch,
Yes. And
right?
again, there are some practitioners who don't cast a circle
Yeah,
ever.
ever.
You don't. Now,
I
fair enough.
don't,
We are not saying
I don't physically cast a circle anymore.
we are
I
not saying that a circle is required for you to be a valid practitioner. We are saying if you want to cast a circle, here's how.
physically could do what's up. Me, I'm gonna be honest. Before, oh my god, it used to drive me crazy when I was learning, because no, I needed the compass to face north to call the earth spirits, and no, because I wanted to do it proper, and I have to go north, east, south, and then west. And it was like, oh my god, and no, because the altar has to be at the north. Some books tell you at the east. Oh no, no. Some tell you at the center, and you have to make your way all around. And it was like, oh no, no, no. It's just too much,
Yeah.
But with time, you develop your own system.
Yes.
Um,
And for beginners, that very structured beginning can be useful. It can
I
also be a hindrance.
still do a whole full-on Wiccan by the book ritual, right? I remember how to do it. I can do it still, but I've built my own way of casting a circle mentally. Sometimes it works for me mentally. Sometimes I need the energy right then and there, and I don't have time to sit here and do a 45-minute ritual
And there's the difference between
part by part. So you
taking
learn
that
how to
beginner
mix
idea.
that circle, right? For me, it starts with the ring of a bell. I have a bell on my altar, and just by me ringing that bell, it just clears the room and prepares that energy.
Now,
Sometimes I feel satisfied enough with just a bell. Sometimes I need a candle lit up, some incense smoke, spreading it across the room, staging a little bit, and there I gather myself up, and I either speak to my ancestors to join the ritual. Um, Sometimes I work with particular deities to represent each element. Sometimes I work with elementals. The elementals are the creatures associated with those elements, and they can really be any creatures that you want, that you particularly work with in your type of craft or mythology. For example, fire. The elementals for fire are salamanders. Salamanders are these reptilian type of fire lizards, right? But also, who is to tell you that instead of working with salamander as your representation of fire, you could work with a phoenix
or a dragon.
or a dragon?
Actually,
Or
with dragons, you could do a dragon for each element.
exactly. So it all is what works for you. I do work with elemental energies and stuff like that, and sometimes I do bring that into my ritual work. But like I said, I don't always go and do a whole full on ritual Wiccan by the book ritual of 50 minutes. And when you look at yourself 50 minutes in, you're already exhausted and you're ready to do the spell work and you're almost drained.
Now, here's the thing. The way I learned to cast a circle originally, and here's something I haven't heard a lot of people mention. Your circle doesn't have to encompass your whole body. I learned to cast a circle around just my mind. Why? Because I needed to shield myself from outside influence, because I needed to learn how to create a bubble for myself where I could exist without other people having control. So I learned to cast that circle, and again, when I say circle, I mean orb, around my own mind by literally visualizing a red orb forming around my own brain. Visualizing it forming into a cement wall around my brain so that I was safe inside that bubble. So this was one, how I learned to cast a circle, and two, how I learned to do defensive magic.
Again, you went to the right spot, and I also want to mention Danny, because Danny said, when you said circle of salt, I had hocus pocus in my head. And exactly, what does the young girl use the circle of salt for? To protect herself from the witches, the dark forces, right? So why do we cast circles? To protect ourselves from negative entities or energies that can disrupt the environment or the magic that we're trying to create in that place, that sacred place.
It doesn't necessarily have to be evil or dark energy either. It can just be, it is also just to keep any energy that's not necessary for your working out. You don't need all those distractions in your spell.
Complete
intent is everything.
Interruptions out.
So intent is everything. Your focus is everything. So if your mind during the spell is over here on and how you're going to pay your mortgage, but you're trying to cast a spell to attract some new people into your life, guess what? You're not focusing on attracting new people into your life. You're focusing on your mortgage.
So, right, the whole purpose of casting a circle, be it physical, mental, psychic, whatever way you want to cast your circle, we usually do it for protection, correct? And for magic to work better and to be in conjunction and create that sacred space, right? What do you protect yourself from? Now, we have all kinds of circle casting, from the most simplest ones to the most elaborate. Ceremonial wizards or practitioners that work with angel energies and fallen angel energies and even left-hand path work and ceremonial magic. I'm including.
You have the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, which has literally a 45-minute ritual to cast a circle and to dispel your circle.
And it is a complete, whole, full working circle with sigils, magic, and this angel to the left and that one to the right, and it's this whole big thing. Of course, that's their practice. Yes. It's amazing that you have to learn all these things, and it takes a lot of dedication and work.
There's an argument to be made that the level of dedication and practice you have to put into memorizing all of that makes you more focused.
And that's why we have to go through that memorization or that process of having at least some type of stability or some type of checklist to go by daily when we're first learning, right? Because this is what sticks to you. And then from there, you start developing and you start to learn what works for you, what doesn't work for you, whether it's elementals, it's not elementals, whether you cast a circle wherever you are and you don't use a compass for north, south, east, and west. Sometimes I'm sorry, I don't have a built-in compass to smell and sniff and be like, this way is north. You get what I'm saying? So
yes, and by the way, my best friend is someone By the way, my best friend is someone who will literally be like, okay, I can point north by my inner compass. I'm so happy for you if you are like her and you have an inner compass that's just like, true north is this way.
So for me, I don't really follow. I have altars throughout my witchy room. I don't follow a whole the altar lays on the north, on the east. Those types of things I eliminated out of my practice a little while ago, roughly about 4 or 5 years. That I've already let go of certain things like that because it's things that are meaningless. If you're trying to put an energy out there and stuff, and there's certain things that you have the accessibility to, and certain things that you don't. I'm not saying it's wrong to say the altar goes in the north. It could be proper and it could be the most respectful way of doing it. But in a solitary practice, in a solitary path, what you learn, what works for you and what doesn't. Everybody's practice is totally different.
Yes.
For me, I let it go. I have altars everywhere.
Like, I'm sorry, my magic tends to be quick and dirty. I need to get the spell done. I got things to do, places to be.
Your moons get elaborate for your Sabbats, right? For Sabbats, we tend to want to do a celebration and celebrate. You can leave it for that. The whole Vavavoom,
Yes, by the way. For example, Beltane's coming. Guess what? Normally on Beltane, I'm over here like, build a fire.
I'm not prepared. I'm not prepared for Beltane this year. I think my Beltane is going to be very simple.
Gather the flowers, do the things, fucking cook a meal. Like,
I'm thinking
like all the bells and whistles along with Samhain. Guess what?
For my Beltane, I'm thinking my big witch's cauldron with a fire inside and literally me doing some fire meditation. I think it's going to be something very simple for me this year. Very simple Beltane. I'm not gonna do the whole. I mean, some years it's good. Some years it's not. Right now I feel like maybe for Beltane, what I would do is a healing ritual with my crystal skulls and stuff like that, and a grid for this to clear out this space from this COVID-19 clouding up our atmosphere. So something like that is what I have in mind.
Versus, I probably still light myself a fire outside. Probably still have a drink. I just won't have company this time.
I can have a fire outside too, though, because we have the fire pit.
Yes, I will still light up the fire pit. I will still have drinks. I will probably put people on Facebook with me, or go live on YouTube to have people to hang out with. And yes, Janet is correct. That is what makes our paths so beautiful. There is no right way and there is no wrong way. There is your way. And you must find your way. I can tell you my path, but you can't walk my path because it's my path.
You'll be amazed at how many different authors of the craft I've followed, how many different books I've read and rented and lost and bought and borrowed.
And
my path has literally been a bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Of everything. And it's my path. It's only my path. We can all meet, we get to meet different people in our path, right? Or somewhere where the paths cross each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or where you meet other beings that are similar to you or like-minded to you, right? Or maybe sometimes we're not even like-minded at all, but we meet somewhere on that path.
Yep.
We meet somewhere on that path. So you're never alone. It's not about being alone, but it's about your path is only your path, and you really know what works for you and what doesn't. So when something doesn't work for you, right? Let's talk about when something doesn't work for you.
Let's see here.
What do you do when you cast a circle or you call this element and that, and then you feel like crickets, or you're just not remembering and you're trying to go by your list, right? And you start with sprinkling the salt in the water, and you bless the salt first with the aftermath, and then you dedicate it, and then you sprinkle the salt to the water, then you bless the salt, and then you grab those salt water and you start sprinkling and sprinkling and then you go with the incense and right. What the hell happens when you're mid ritual and you're here thinking and you look and you're like, oh shit, I forgot to light the fire candle.
Now, there are some people who are like, the whole thing.
I forgot the complete step and I never even added the salt to the water. These types of things sometimes gets us like, oh shit. And it just gets you right. Like,
it doesn't even have to be a complicated ritual like that. It can be that you just sit there and you're just sitting there in your kitchen and you're putting an herb sachet together and you're going, okay, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. You tie it all up, you put your intention in it, and then you feel nothing coming off it. And you're just like, nope, there's no energy here. There's nothing happening here. What you gonna do with this?
What are you doing? Do you just quit? Do you just stop it and put your things away? Right.
Maybe you listen to your own intuition, yourself, your inner voice, your imagination, whatever you want to call it, and do what it says. If it says, open the thing up, dump it out, and do it again, do it. If it says, nah, put it in the moonlight and let it charge, do that. Your intuition might say, bury it in the yard and let it get some energy from the earth. Do that.
Well, how about this one? You're here following a recipe down to the T and down to the letter, and you're like, da 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 da, and this ingredient and that ingredient and this much and that much. And when you're done creating it, you're like, it doesn't feel how I thought it would feel. It doesn't, I don't know. I feel like it's missing something. If you in any of that moment thought about adding anything else, add it.
Yeah.
When you think about something or a thought comes into your head and you're like, I wonder where that came from. Maybe it's just my head. Go for it.
Do it.
Go. That is your intuition, and that's how you learn how to build your intuition. Sometimes I would be like, am I going crazy? Did some voice just talk to me and told me do this, do that? Like, is that in my head? But I learned how to cope with it, and I'm like, hey, that's my intuition speaking to me. Do this instead, do that instead, add this instead. And that's how you learn how to mold yourself into who you are going to be. In our past, we are forever changing, forever growing. In being eclectic, we tend to learn new things and stick to the things that we've already learned, the ones that we can still connect to, right? Some things we connect to that we keep in our practice, and that becomes an essential part of our practice. Other things that tend not to work for us anymore, we let it go or we change it according to what's beneficial for us.
Yes. And only if it's beneficial to you should you be keeping it in your practice. If it is draining you to sit here and try to go through, bless the salt, bless the water, or call the quarters, or sprinkle the salt, sprinkle the water, or call in the god and goddess, da 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 da, and then have to banish each one. If that is draining you to the point that by the time you try to cast a spell, you feel like you have no energy to give, eliminate something. Cut it back. Say that you who don't need to separately sprinkle salt and water, or that you don't need to separately bless each one, or that you who don't need to call each individual element and its representation and individually.
I rarely now, unless I want to do, like I said, an elaborate ritual on a particular Sabbath or a holiday for a deity. Very rarely do I go north, earth, da, 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 da,
Mhm.
left, right, left. And I call elements one by one and having an air altar, all these things. And I'm not saying it's wrong, it's beautiful. It's
I'm
in a
not saying it's
it
wrong
works
at
in
all.
a covenant. In a covenant, it works because you have a certain amount of individuals with you have more than two hands in a coven to where you can split the work around, right? Where
Yes.
someone's in charge of lighting the altars or setting up
Now,
and this and that.
again, neither one of us is saying that these Wiccan or Hermetic order practices are wrong or bad. They're beautiful in the same way that a Catholic church service can be beautiful, in that the imagery of the stained glass windows and the swinging censer and the aisles of the practitioners can be beautiful. So can that image of the casting each calling in each element and casting in an elaborate circle. It's a gorgeous image, but it is not always practical, and it is okay not to do it every time, or to feel like you don't need to do it for every single spell.
So sometimes I catch myself, right? And while I'm doing a simple circle casting in my head, then I will obviously I will call protection, right? Depending on what I'm working with. Sometimes I'll call my ancestors. Sometimes with just calling the deity I'm working with is enough for me to feel that protection and feel that space to where I don't call elementals. And other times I just say a blessing for all elementals. I call upon all of the spirits of nature, earth, air, fire, water, to join me in this circle. Right? And there you can call my guardian spirits, be that of my bloodline or different beings that you work with, whether it's a particular goddess or god. It all depends on what works for you and what doesn't. And the only way we do learn what works for us and what doesn't is through trial and error.
Yes.
So when you make a
So,
mistake, it's okay to make a mistake. Just either switch it up at the next time, whatever works for you work, whatever doesn't. You learn by experience. This is how we learn what works for us and what doesn't.
it's like learning any new skill. You don't become a master artist by being born with the ability to draw beautiful artwork. You may have a predisposition as a child toward drawing, but it is through years of applied practice that you become a master of that art. It's through years of applied practice that you become a master musician, that you become a master at any skill. That is exactly what you're doing here. With meditation and of any kind, casting circles, casting spells, performing rituals. It is practicing skills. It is practicing a practice. That's why witchcraft in particular, not necessarily Wicca or paganism, but witchcraft is a practice. You must practice.
That's the only way you learn what works for you or what doesn't. You gotta put in the work.
Yep. And by the way, it's one of the reasons I like the spiritual paths that go along with witchcraft quite easily, like paganism and Wicca, because they encourage that you must do the work in order to gain the knowledge.
And boy, is it not a lot of work when you're first learning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Do I ever know? It's a lot of work. It's daunting. It's terrifying. You're looking at all of this information like, which book do I read first? Do I do a year and a day and not cast any magic?
I remember when I was like, what the hell? I remember when I was like, what the hell is a waning moon? What the hell is a waxing moon? What the hell is moon gibbous? What the hell is
I remember when I was like, what the fudge? Do you mean cast a circle? Excuse me? Like, I didn't even know who it from popular media. I was literally like, what the fudge do you mean cast a circle? Huh?
Yeah.
Like, you mentioned Book of Shadows, who's in my brain was in the only image was like either her Charmed or her Hocus Pocus. That was it. None of these journals that I show you. No. The image in my brain when I started was like either Charmed or Hocus Pocus. That was it.
Mine was Practical Magic.
Oh, I didn't get to see Practical Magic when I was a kid. I didn't get to see that until I was an adult and already into paganism, witchcraft, Wicca. And then, like,
I grew up with Practical Magic.
I remember, like, trying to memorize the directions and their elements and literally could never do it. It was just like, north is what? South is what? I don't care. Back to my just ephemeral, if it exists in my brain, it exists. As we go, we're not doing the ceremonial thing. I remember literally sitting there looking at a book like, excuse me? You want me to like remember to turn clockwise and then counterclockwise? Yes, it can make your head spin, and it did.
And then when some words are like, for example, you have Jisoo for clockwise or Wittershin for counterclockwise, and then when they use the Wiccan vocabulary, you're like, wait, what the hell is Jisoo? What the fuck is Wittershin?
Mm-hmm.
What the hell is this? What the hell is that?
I don't know these words. What are these words?
Like for me, it was always easier when they said do this clockwise, do this counterclockwise. But sometimes, since some of them are so traditional, they use the actual pagan vocabulary. You're like, oh shit, I have to go back to look up what this word means in order to know what they're saying.
Mm-hmm. And it was like they were speaking in foreign freaking language.
Right, it's like a different tongue or something.
And I was just like, wait, what? What am I?
I'm like, wait, I never read this in Harry Potter.
I'm like, what the heck is that?
Harry Potter never did a circle casting.
Oh, and then there was like, okay. This is the moment when it was like, wait. You don't have to use any of it. Because, again, lucky for me, when I got into paganism and witchcraft, I had friends who were already witches and pagans and Wiccans who were like, no, honey, you don't need any of this. Come here. I'm going to teach you how to do this without any of the tools. Because I know you live with Christian family who ain't going to like this. You going to do it with so many tools. And lucky me, I had friends around to do that. This was also at the dawning of YouTube. So we didn't have YouTube witches saying what we're saying now, making it easy access. YouTube was like cat video, who at the time was like cat videos and Nyan Cat. That was it. And if you remember Nyan Cat, you are old enough to hang out with me. Like, the stupid dancing hamster was the big thing on YouTube at the time, okay? And if you understand what I mean by stupid dancing hamster, you're around the same age as me. Here's the thing, when there are no YouTube witches, when literally the online community for witches essentially boils down to forums, that's it. And you know that you share a computer with your whole family, you're scared to log into the damn forum. Because what if your family gets on behind you? You can't delete the browser history, or they're gonna assume that you were watching porn or something. So it's like, no. And again, this was a teenage me who didn't know how to individually delete websites out of the browser history. So it was like, delete everything or nothing. So I was terrified to get on a pagan forum, which meant the only people I was learning from were people who were physical paper books I could hide under my bed, and the friends around me who loaned me said books. That was it. I would have killed for pagan YouTube to be a thing. I would have killed to have Kellyanne Maddox and Molly Roberts.
But it's like I would have discovered myself a long time ago.
Uh-huh. Hell, I would have killed to have Mama Squirrel around back then.
Sorry, guys. This is an awesome topic. I think we're gonna leave it at that because my sleepiness is kicking in, and I have to work tomorrow.
And he didn't count on us being able to talk for an hour about casting circles.
5 a.m.
So we will continue Dark Gods and Goddesses another time.
5 a.m.
Yes, for Hexen. For Hexen.
5 a.m.
Send a prayer to the gods. Or Hexen.
I'll be already tomorrow. I'll be out like around 2, and then I'm off on Sunday. So you got me Sunday all day, every day. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is a subject that we're definitely going to continue, especially with the dark mythologies and dark gods and goddesses. If you haven't checked our previous video to this one, check it out. It was an introduction on dark magic and dark gods and goddesses and mythology and stuff like that. We kind of tested some waters, and we heard about some deities also that we haven't worked with and stuff like that. So also, if you guys have any pantheons that you guys wanted us to talk about, you can leave us comments or reach out to us individually, be it on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, however you rather, and give us ideas on which pantheons you would like for us to talk about. Mainly darker, or more. How can we say it? Like death gods and goddesses and darker mythology, be it vampiric or draconic or things like that, like and pantheons and stuff like that. So
again, if you're loose on what a dark god or goddess is, go check out the previous video, and then leave us a comment and tell us which dark gods and goddesses you'd like us to do videos on.
Yep. All right, guys. Have a good night. Be safe. Stay safe. Stay home. And wash your hands. Bye.